Hello and welcome to the Unshakeable Coparent Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Komoto, and around here we talk about all things high conflict co-parenting. And what I mean by that, if you are co-parenting with someone who is abusive, narcissistic, toxic, just plain difficult, or someone who counterparents, then you are in the right place. So today's a bit of an impromptu episode, which was born from a one-on-one call I had with one of the mamas in the Unshakeable Coparent Program. And it's all to do with self-worth. So if this is something that you struggle with, then please tune in, get your favorite drink, and I will see you on the other side. Okay, so I had a one-on-one call with one of the beautiful mamas in the program. It was a check-in call, and we talked about a few things. She doesn't have her children with her, unfortunately, at the moment, due to finances, and not necessarily her finances, but what she is, quote unquote, competing with her co-parent, who literally can provide anything and everything materially for their children. Okay, and the children are teenagers, so obviously they are very easily bought and sold on shiny objects, as you can imagine. So, the Disneyland parent who gives them everything and anything they want, buys them expensive gifts, and financially provides for them in every way they would possibly need. Now, when it comes to this mama, she is their emotional safe space, although it may not feel like it right now because they are not with her. And she literally gets 2 hours with them every week, which, as you can imagine, that's not a lot of time to spend with your children. Now, it came out of our call. She was, and I'm sure she won't mind me sharing this because I'm not sharing any specific details, that those 2 hours are precious, and that is the time when she really needs to spend rebuilding the relationship between herself and her children. It's not a lot of time, as you can imagine, so time is sacred. But what came up from our call was that her co-parent, he gets them this, he gets them that, he takes them here, there, and everywhere. And that's why he has custody of them at the moment. And her comparison was, I don't have those things. If I were to even do half of what he's doing financially, then I would have to scrimp and save, basically. I don't have the same finances or financial situation. And this co-parent comes from money, from my understanding. Now, what I always say, and you might have heard me say this before, is obviously children need their mother. I don't care what your situation is. Children need their mother. Now, what I said to her is, if you had the finances, if you had the same bank balance and the same credit cards, that co-parent would be redundant, wouldn't they? And she agreed, because this co-parent doesn't provide emotional safety, emotional security, emotional stability, but they do provide everything else financially. Whereas on the flip side, she cannot be replaced. She is their mother. And unless this co-parent provides for them emotionally, which we know these co-parents don't, then she has a very important role and needs to keep fighting for that role. Now, it was very clear to me that she has self-worth issues because of this comparison that she was making. And in my opinion, there is no comparison. Yes, of course, on the surface, you can conclude that he has more, she has less. But there is no comparison in terms of who you are as a person, who this co-parent is as a person, and what your children need from you. And it's a tough battle, and I can only imagine what it's like to not have your children with you and to keep fighting like she is, but she's doing it because it's important to her. Now, you may struggle with self-worth issues as well, comparing yourself to the co-parent. Are they the Disneyland parent? Do they give everything and anything to their children? Do they have zero boundaries so they're like the fun parent? But that's not parenting. Yeah, I want you to really listen to the words I'm saying right now. Yes, you may fall short financially, but that is not parenting. That does not set your children up for anything other than turning out to be materialistic or entitled brats, in my opinion. There needs to be balance, and that balance comes from you. That comes from you fighting the good fight and advocating for your children and doing what you can within your power, within your control, to be that emotional safe haven for them. And I don't mean more mumming. I think a lot of people get really confused. It doesn't mean sacrificing yourself, bending over backwards for your children. It means getting you yourself to a place where you are unshakable. You are in your power. You have control over your feelings and your emotions. You are not derailed by what the co-parent is saying or doing, and you're not derailed by what your children are saying or doing either. This is about you taking control of what you can control, which is your emotions and your feelings and how you proceed, so your actions. Okay, trusting yourself is part of this journey. You are probably listening to me right now and don't even know if you do trust yourself or not. A good indicator if you do not trust yourself in your decisions is the sheer fact that you don't know your next step. You don't know what to say or do next in whatever situation comes up. Usually when we've been through these experiences of emotional and psychological abuse, it is really hard to trust your own decisions, because you made this big decision that had catastrophic outcomes for you and your children, as in having a co-parent of that nature, marrying or being in a relationship with this person and creating life together. Big mistake when we look back in hindsight, obviously. We're not going to beat ourselves up over that. But what can we control now? How can I get to a place where I can start trusting myself? Because guess what? If you do not trust yourself, you will continually look outside of yourself for answers. And that doesn't lead you where you want to go. That's just going to suit someone else's agenda. When you can trust yourself and you trust your decisions, that's when you will always make the right decision when it comes to not just your co-parent and not just your parenting, but you in your life as a woman, in your career, in your business, how you deal with other people, other relationships that you have. The reason why you do not trust yourself, which is also wrapped up in your self-worth, is because you lied to yourself. You made promises to yourself that you broke over and over and over again. And I'm not saying that from my perch over here up high. I've done that myself. I've been there. But if you're not aware of it, then you can't fix it and you can't change it. Okay, and it's not to say that you need fixing, but when you are aware that you don't trust yourself, you are not in your power. You are not in control. And I don't mean in control of other people, I mean in control of yourself. And when I say unshakable as fuck, I mean grounded in who the fuck you are. It's a journey. It's not easy. It's going to take a bit of work. If you don't want to do the work, that is absolutely fine. That is absolutely fine. It isn't for everyone to keep fighting the good fight. When I say fighting, I don't mean fighting the way that your co-parent fights. It's being smart, doing the right things instead of continually doing the wrong things over and over and over again and getting the same outcomes. Now, obviously, I speak to a lot of women like every single day. I have the perspective of hearing all kinds of scenarios, all kinds of situations. Okay, but one thing is common, and that is each and every one has self-worth issues. I was there too. And we don't trust ourselves. We don't trust our decisions, hence why we find it so difficult to make decisions, even if they're for our highest good. Even if they're going to benefit us and our children, we still struggle and stay stuck in like freeze mode to make these decisions. So self-worth, think about where you may not, or the situations where you don't feel worthy. Because you can guarantee it's probably a lot of situations, and especially when it comes to your co-parent, or maybe even your parenting, you know you're the great mom, you know that. But do you feel worthy of actually going for the life that you want? That's another question. Okay, so self-worth is a big one. This mama clearly didn't feel worthy and doesn't feel worthy, but she's still fighting for her children and for herself and for her freedom and for her peace. And we're just going to keep going on this journey until we get there together. Okay, so if any of this resonated with you, it's a very quick episode. Please share it with 3 women who you know, 3 mamas who you know will benefit from hearing this. If you are ready to delve in deeper, please DM me over on Instagram under Unshakeable Coparenting, the word reclaim, RECLAIM, for a free mini course where I basically break this all down for you. How to go about getting your peace back when you are trying to co-parent with someone who counterparents, yet pretends to anyone who will listen that they are co-parenting. Okay, because if you've tried all the things, you've done all the things, you've tried all the things, you've done courses before, you've read self-help books, that is not enough. That's just information. You need transformation, especially when you're dealing with somebody like that. So if you want to get your hands on my free mini course, and for now it is free, just DM me RECLAIM, which is reclaim, and we can have a chat over there and you can get access to all of that. I'm just going to sign off with, you are so freaking worthy. You just don't know it yet. And when you step into your power, when you make decisions that are aligned with where you want to go, you really are right on the path to becoming unshakable AF. And the reason why maybe you're not there yet, if that's something that you do strive to become, is because your decisions are not aligned with your actions. I'll leave it there. So until next time, I'm going to love you and leave you, and I will speak to you very soon. Bye for now.